Hi, and welcome to Infertility Unfiltered, where fertility experts and warriors are joining forces to provide you with tips, tricks, information, lessons, and inspiration so you can take back control of your life and get your baby on board. Hi, I'm Jennifer Robertson, and today we are in for a real treat. We are being joined by Elaine Lopez-Bogard. Now, she is a fertility shaman. She provides spiritual and holistic healing solutions. She helps women communicate with the soul of their unborn baby, as well as look at the spiritual root causes for infertility and pregnancy loss. And today we are going to talk about so many things. I have so many questions. We're going to talk about mainly how you can connect with your baby on a spiritual level, lean into your intuition, and take back your power. And if you stick around to the end, we're going to tell you how you can get your hands on a free meditation to connect with your spirit baby. So I am so thrilled to have you here, Elaine. I would love to know what got you into this, what your background is, like what led you down this path.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here and to share more about my work and how I can help. And so a little bit about me. How I got started in this work is after I experienced my own pregnancy loss. I had a pregnancy loss, and I was 12 weeks pregnant, and so I was at the point where I hadn't told anybody. So then when I lost the baby, I didn't tell anybody I lost the baby. And so I just felt really isolated, and then kind of just stuffed everything away. Well, a few years later, I began to study holistic kinesiology, and I feel like that started to open things up for me. I learned about the emotional root causes of physical ailments, and then that was when everything related to my loss came to the surface. And as all of that kind of spewed out of me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I have to help more women that experienced pregnancy loss. And so that's what I did when I finished kinesiology school. My focus was on helping women heal from pregnancy loss. I was still on my path to personal healing, and then, I started just doing more and more work. I ended up studying traditional Peruvian shamanism, started to study traditional Mexican healing, and my intuition opened up. It was so much of a remembering that I've done this type of healing work before, so I just integrated it all together in my work. So then spirit baby started coming to me, and I was like, what is happening? I'm not sure what all of this is. And so then I realized my soul mission to help women to connect with their baby, their spirit baby, either from a pregnancy loss or their future baby, the spirit baby coming in. And so that's kind of how it all came together for me to do this work.
I think that's amazing, and it provides people with so much comfort, I would imagine, because I think on this journey, the biggest question that most of us have, that I know that I had, was, am I going to go through this all for nothing? Is there a baby out there for me? Is this going to take, 5 months? Is this going to take 5 years? Am I going to get there? Like, is there a baby for me? So can you walk us through that connection in terms of what you see, what people come to you for, and, like what kind of things you can provide them?
Yes, of course. So a lot of times when I connect with women, it's connecting at a soul level. So then there's this kind of ability for me to see potential. So as a psychic medium, I can see the possibilities, right? The potentialities, the different timelines for people. And a lot of times I see spirit babies. The spirit babies come a lot of times when women come and ask that question. The spirit baby is already in their field. their spirit baby will bring forward messages and insight for them. Sometimes the spirit baby is just a little further away, maybe up in the corner, isn't quite ready to come closer. So I know that that's going to take a little bit longer. Sometimes babies will come and give very specific information, and like regarding the month, the year. Sometimes I get information even as precise as the date of like conception, right? This is the day for you to, you know, have me come, have that spark happen. And yeah, so I can just tune in to that and share the information that the baby has. What I find a lot of times is that the spirit babies really want to help women to get into this space of like inner trusting and inner connection, and to feel. So often on this journey, so many women the process can become very rigid, right? If you're going through IVF, if you have gone to the doctor and the doctor says, you get bad news over and over and over, it's really hard to have hope. So what I like to tell my clients is, you just check all of that at the door before we connect. And this is the space of really connecting in to trusting yourself, trusting your baby, trusting your body. And so the spirit baby comes through and so often wants to just make the connection with the mom and sometimes the dad. I facilitate meetings between the parents, mom and dad, and sometimes the siblings as well, so they all can kind of tune in and feel the energy of their baby. And that really helps women to kind of shift out of that fear, the fear of the unknown, or the fear of disappointment, the fear of, am I going to have another pregnancy loss? If you can imagine being able to feel your baby, like have a visceral feeling, like, sometimes my clients get chills. Sometimes they can literally feel a pat on their back. Sometimes they can really feel like movement in their belly. Those are all the signs of their spirit baby. And so I just really help them to tune into that. And that immediately almost like just kind of washes that stress away, and helps them shift into the space of trusting and knowing rather than the fear and anxiety of the unknown.
Absolutely. And sometimes we just need a little bit, just a little taste to allow us to open ourselves up, to listen to our intuition, and to trust that the path that we're on is going to deliver us something. And but that's such a hard space to get into. A lot of us are, like, I'm a typical type A personality, and a lot of the women that I coach are very similar as well. Like, we're used to pushing. We're used to, just tell me what I have to do. Just tell me the tablet I have to take. Like, I just need to get through this. It's really hard to be able to just stop the way that we've been acting and progressing all of this time, and use the other side of it. Sometimes we just need a little taste of, look, just show me I can trust, and then I will. So can you change the time frame? Like, I know that you said that people will come to you and you can see, you can see whether it's a spirit baby, like how can you change how far, how long? Like, do you have the ability to change your future?
Well, I feel like it's not me, right? I am just the facilitator. But yes, I do feel like we can modify these timelines and get on the path of least resistance to your desired outcome of a baby. Yes, that is absolutely possible. And that is a lot of the work that I do is, okay, here's the baby. How do we get there? How do we get you to come closer? And what do you need from us? What do you need from from your mom and what do you need from your dad so that you can incarnate now. And so working with that, being able to communicate, like I said, I'm the facilitator, so it is a lot about the mom and the dad or partner, their desire, and being able to be in that space of knowing and trusting and connection, right? Because I feel like a lot of the work that I do really is like, you do have to put the brakes on, and it's almost like taking a step back to move forward, right? You have to take a step back and kind of just leave all of everything that you've been told, everything that you know, just kind of leave it, drop it down and step into the unknown, because there's so much magic beyond what we know to be true.
Absolutely. And so when we talk about spirit babies and pregnancy loss, can you provide, because when we lose a baby, whether it's, an early miscarriage, whether it's post-birth, like we search for answers, we want to know why. And of course we usually go to ourselves and go, what did I do wrong? Like, what is this? Can you provide us with a different perspective of what may cause that?
Yeah, so what I have found, like for me, and with my example, how I got started doing this work is because of my loss. Before I did this work, I was a web and graphic designer and project manager. Very different than this type of work, right? And so for me, to do this work and to remember, right? Because like I said before, I feel like the work that I do is so much of a remembering of other times, other lifetimes that I've done this work. In order for me to remember that, I had to go through my pregnancy loss. And my spirit baby came through and told me that his sole purpose was not to come and be with me in the physical world, but to connect with me just in a spiritual world, to kind of modify my path to do this work so I can help others.
Okay.
And so, so that's part of it. The other part is, sometimes the spirit babies just choose, right? So like you said, a lot of women think that it's something that they did wrong, but what I find is it's something that the spirit baby chose, right? Their soul wanted to experience conception. Their soul wanted to experience being in the womb for 3 months or 6 months, or even just experience birth and decide not to stay after that. And those are soul contracts that we look at and get information about.
Absolutely. And I love that. I mean, it provides a little bit of comfort too, as well, that it wasn't something that we did wrong. It was something that our spirit baby chose. And of course, we love them and we are able to accept that as well. So there are so many things that I could be talking to you about right now, but finding that clarity, finding the clarity in what you want to do next and where you want to go, and how this is going to play out. Like, how do you provide women with clarity of what they need to be doing next?
Sure. So everything is energy. So if you think about each of us, think about yourself as just a being of energy beyond your physical body. What I find is a lot of times our experiences in our life, and sometimes other lifetimes as well, create congestion, and we're not able to clearly see what our path forward is or what the next step is. And so a lot of the work I do is that spiritual cleansing of non-beneficial energy, cleansing of trauma and these just non-beneficial imprints that are kind of just like blocking that flow of energy. And so once those are removed, then there's flow and clarity. Then we know, and my clients know exactly what the next step is. And so part of my work is also a lot of really in-depth womb clearing and womb healing, as well as, just entire soul, looking at the soul and working with the woman at a soul level, as well as the spirit baby, right? Bringing that together and getting the information, because there's so much information in the unseen world, and it's just a matter of kind of tapping into that, and then we get like the map. We know what direction to go next. We know what steps to take next.
Mm-hmm. And we were talking before about, sometimes as women we get to a certain age and we're just not quite sure whether we can picture it. We don't quite have that picture in our head of, yes, I'm going to be a mum, or yes, this is going to be happening. And I had a conversation with one of my clients the other day, just about, she was like, I just can't see it. Like, I just can't see myself being a mum. Like, how do you provide that sort of connection between, like, I want to do this, I see myself doing it, and it's going to happen?
So for that, I just tune in and I ask, like, to be shown an image, and then I just relay the image that I'm shown. And sometimes it's an image of an infant. Sometimes it's an image of right after the birth of a baby in a hospital with the hospital blanket. Sometimes it's an image of the woman playing with toys in a toy box with the baby. So I always just tune in and ask to be shown what would be the most beneficial image for this woman to see this potential, and just go from there. I feel like, I mentioned before we started, I work with a lot of women that are entrepreneurs, that are A-type personalities, that have been so focused on their business that they're in their late 30s and they're like, well, I need to make a decision. Am I going to have a baby or not? Like, what path do I take? I need clarity. And the spiritual healing is so beneficial for that, because it just kind of clears the slate. So then they'll know exactly that this is what they want or not, right? Because I have worked with women that after we go through a few sessions, they decide, I realize this is really not the path that I wanted. I thought it was, but it's not. And alternatively, I've worked with women that have said, I never thought I would have a child, but now I do see that I want to have a child. And I also work with women that come in and say, I kind of think I might want to have a baby, but I don't want to be the way my mom was with me. And so we do lots of work around that. And so then by the time we're done, it's like, yes, I know I can do it, and I know I can do it differently.
Wow, I love that. And this is, I see that you're providing hope, you're providing clarity, you're providing connection, all of those things that are really in our, I would say, goddess, or our feminine energy. Like, it's just one of those things, taking a step back, which just, it sounds like, it feels like this release and, lightness. And I love everything about that. So how can we get our hands on a free copy of your meditation to connect with your spirit baby? And how can we get in contact with you after this as well?
Yes, of course. So my website is www.healingthewomb.com. You can find me on Facebook, Elaine Lopez-Bogard. Feel free to send me a friend request and just send me a message. Let me know you saw me on this podcast. I also have a Facebook group called Quantum Fertility Healing Circle, and I also offer some intuitive guidance and information in there. And then my freebie, I will give a link to that. So you could just link directly to that guided meditation to connect with your spirit baby on your own.
Awesome. And we'll put all of those links below. Thank you so much for joining us, Elaine. It has been an absolute pleasure. And thank you so much for watching. Now, if you love this video as much as I have, feel free to give it a little love. Feel free to share it, like it, and make sure you subscribe to this channel as well, because there are so many more amazing people that are lined up to interview and provide you with some information, tips, and all of the things to help you on your fertility journey as part of this Infertility Unfiltered series. So thank you so much for watching.